I had to take a drink before I made this video because I saw a news headline that Meg Thee Stallion shamed the U.S. Supreme Court, saying that the Supreme Court in the state of Texas were embarrassing her. And it's just funny to me because looking from the outside in, girl, you have been embarrassing yourself since you really hit the scene. The culture and the image that you perpetuate is one of being a whore, of being a court jester, of being no more than what your body is, whether it's natural or not. You are only the twerk. You are only the jiggle of the cheeks. That's all that you are. Hot girl, you know. Never transitioned into being a grown-ass woman and taking responsibility for the things that you do and say. So it's just funny to me that people like that who has gone on a hobo tour the last couple of months trying to get people to be on her side for the Tory Lane situation, in which case she's showing at every avenue that she is not in the right. And you say the Supreme Court and the state of Texas are embarrassing you because they are standing for the rights of children and the right to life? You're the one that's been embarrassing us as a community as a whole. Making videos with Cardi B, gyrating each other's vaginas against each other in the WAP music video. I remember the whole shebang of the WAP music video being a really, really controversial talking point because y'all perpetuate whore culture, and the end of whore culture is killing the children that result from that shit. The end result of sex as human beings is to reproduce. That's why they're called reproductive organs. So it's just asinine to hear someone like you who perpetuates the very thing that really should be stopped, saying that the Supreme Court in the state of Texas, who are fighting to give us a better future. Children are our future. And the amount of young women who are enraged by the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe is disheartening. And it proves everything that men, modern men, young men have been saying about women these days. That basically a lot of women are poison. And y'all proved it when the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. Y'all want control so bad that you'll be willing to kill your own flesh and blood to have what you consider a better lifestyle, which is really just, you know, the ability to make more money, the ability to gain material possessions at the cost of your mental health. But to say that the fight for life is embarrassing? No, bitch. You're embarrassing when you're squatting down and twerking in front of the entire world and being a representative to young black women and young black girls and telling them that the best that they can offer is a wet ass pussy. That's fucking embarrassing. And I'm tired of it. And there are not enough Candace Owens. There are not enough Shahrazad Ali's. There are not enough women who actually value the power that we have. Like, it's not just having a vagina that makes you powerful. It's the fact that we bring life into the world. Like, by the grace of God, we are the ones that were selected to bring life into the world. Why would you misuse that? You're an embarrassment. You and all the other rap hoes and all the other R&B hoes and all the other women who are supporting this abortion right. How is the ability to kill another person a right? Explain me that. Explain me that. And the argument is always, oh, well, what if it was rape? What if it was incest? La-di-da, you know? And I counter that with, do you know how many less Black people in the United States there would be, period, if during slavery, Black women had taken the decision to harm the children that were in their womb, which they absolutely could have. There's been ways to abort babies from time. Like, this is not a new concept. So if those Black women way back in the day would have decided to abort the master's children, to abort the children from other Black slaves raping them, to abort the children from being bred because they were the most physically strong, or they had qualities that the master wanted to, basically like dog breeding. If those same Black women would have chosen to get rid of those children that were produced from that, how many less Black people would there be today? How many less Black people is there today because of the decisions of our aunties, our mothers, our grandmothers, our great aunties, and all the women in between? How many more doctors, lawyers, people working at the DMV, childcare providers, how many more of us would there be to support us if we would have taken the road of compassion instead of the road of death? And the road of compassion is not easy. It's not easy to carry a child for 9 months. It's not easy to raise a child until they're capable of taking care of themselves. I'm a mother. I understand that. When I got pregnant at 21 years old, 21? Yeah, I was 21. When I got pregnant at 21 years old, I was told by multiple people from the church to reconsider whether or not I wanted to have a child. And that is the opposite of community. That is the opposite of support. And our problem is not that women are having children. Our problem is not that women are getting pregnant. Surprise. Our problem is that we're teaching, not we, because I don't partake in this, but the Black culture is teaching young Black men not to be responsible, not to be accountable, not to be creative in the ways that they provide for their homes, and that they can just go out while they're young, however them being young lasts, whether it's until they're 30 or until they're 40 or until they're 50. To be young and sow your wild oats, at some point, somebody's gonna get pregnant from that. And young Black women period, are not being protected. So it's a double-edged sword. We wouldn't have this problem if we didn't have a cultural problem. There should be no need for abortion. There should be protection for young Black women. There should be resources for young Black women so that they do not have to go to little Tyrone over there to get affirmation and to get affection and to receive the things that young women period need. They should not have to do that. But they do, because we don't have community. And so what we're trying to replace with death only perpetuates itself. Like, we can't get mad that the Black community is failing in this area, that area, this area, that area. We cannot survive. We cannot survive. There are so many protests of Black Lives Matter, but do they? Do they to us? Because when I hear Black women saying it's embarrassing for the Supreme Court to vote to protect lives, period, including Black lives, that makes me believe that you don't think Black lives matter. From womb to tomb. Do they matter or do they not? Meg. Because I think all y'all are really full of bullshit. Like, y'all just say what is politically correct at the time, and you have no regard. You don't even fucking think for yourselves. And it's sad. But I will continue to champion for these little ones. I will continue. If there's a way that I can help young Black mothers, I'm going to do that every time. If there's a way that I can convince a young woman who has become pregnant that life in her womb is more important than anything that she's scared about, than any hurdle that she feels like she needs to jump over in order to support that child. We don't have a future without Black children. And the complete, utter disregard for Black child life. And, you know, it's funny to me that so many Black people are mad that some Trump-backed, whatever she is, said that the Roe versus Wade being overturned was a good thing for white life. Good for them. Good for them. As much as we talk about how Black life is so important, why wouldn't they, the other races, be excited for wins for their own future? Duh. Of course it's a win for white life. It's a win for Black life if we take it. But we see it as being oppressed. We see not giving the option of killing our own children as being oppressed. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? And get mad at who we call our oppressors when they call it a win that their young women cannot kill their children. How wild is that? What kind of world do we live in? Christ is coming soon.